Hello everyone and welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15, where I'll be giving you 4 tips for tomorrow, which will include a few selections at Epsom as they have the first day of their Derby and Oaks meeting. Obviously the highlight tomorrow will be the Epsom Oaks for the Fillies, and that will include my long shot, so stay tuned for that. Also as well, I quickly just want to say that I'm back here on my YouTube channel after a few days away. If you were worrying where I was, no, I've not given up the towel just yet. I was away for a few days recharging the batteries, so yeah, it was nice to get away, and I'm looking forward to getting back into the swing of things after what was a good May for us in the end. April wasn't so good, but we were in better form during May, especially with the naps, so fingers crossed we can continue it into June, where we've got plenty of top action to get our teeth stuck into. Obviously the Oaks and the Derby this weekend, and then we're round the corner to Royal Ascot, which is only just over a week away. So yeah, lots of top quality racing coming at us thick and fast, and hopefully we can find some winners for you in that time. So let's get stuck into it then. We're going to be going to Epsom for my first selection tomorrow with my extra tip of the day. Runs in the 3:45, and I'm going with a horse here called Sky Defender for Franny Norton and Mark Johnston. Now this horse at the time recording was available at 11 to 1 with SkyBet, who are offering 4 places on this race. I'm going to recommend a 0.5 each way selection here. Now this horse actually won this race back in 2020 when it was run on the Oaks and Derby card, when obviously they merged the two together because of COVID-19. The Sky Defender was an impressive winner that day, making all from the front, and is now rated £5 higher off a mark of 104. But I think that's not too bad for this horse at all. He normally gives his running. He's a horse that likes to be handy, likes to get on with the job, and I think those tactics tomorrow could really suit at Epsom. In fact, I've been looking at Epsom over the last year or so and looking at some of the key trends, and to be honest with you, I think it's turned into a front runner's paradise. If you look at the Epsom and Oaks card last year, lots of horses that were handy often stayed there come the end. And also as well, if you look at the last meeting they had there in April when it was the Blue Ribbon Trial Day, again, horses that were racing handily, making all, were generally staying there. And I think if he deploys those tactics as he usually does, I think he might just be hard to pull back tomorrow and could be very tough and game to pass. Now, like I said, he's still off a mark of 104. He ran here back in April, actually, where he bumped into Victory Chime, who had some good form going into that race. Most notably, his third place effort at Pontefract, where he finished behind Volkonik, who went on to win, obviously, the Group 3 at Sandown. But still, nonetheless, you know, it was a good run by Sky Defender when he bumped into Victory Chime, and he's going to be £4 better off tomorrow, so that swing at the weights might just favour Sky Defender. I think there's a lot of things in his favour tomorrow. Back down and trip as well from his latest effort at Newmarket, which saw him finish in 4th place. The form of that race has worked out okay. Global Storm has won on his subsequent start, so I don't think it was a bad race at all, and he clearly just doesn't stay the 1.5 miles. 10 furlongs is his ideal trip. Conditions no problem, track fine, and Mark Johnston, after quite a couple of weeks, have just indicated in the last couple of days that they're coming back to a little bit of form. They had a couple of winners today and yesterday, so I think the Yard are starting to turn a corner now, and hopefully we'll have a strong June. And yeah, I think Sky Defender's got lots of things in his favour tomorrow to run a big race at a double figure price, and I think he's got a very good chance of going close, so he's going to be my extra tip of the day. We then go to the big one of the day in the 4:30 for the Oaks. My long shot here is going to be a horse that many of you probably think hasn't got a prayer, and to be honest with you, might not do at all, but I thought Jaconde for Will Buick and Aidan O'Brien here was worth a small stakes punt at 50 to 1. That was available with SkyBet at the current time recording, who are offering 5 places on the race, and I'm going to recommend a 0.5 each way selection here. Now there could be a little bit of the shades of Amran Nibafian, probably just murdered the pronunciation there, but if you've been following my work for a long time, you might remember that I actually put up that horse to finish 3rd in the Derby last year at 100 to 1, and Will Buick was aboard that day. And obviously, due to the COVID restrictions, he's been one of the men that Ballydoyle have called upon to ride some of their horses in these big races. And despite it looks like him being on the 5th or 6th string, I think you've got to respect this filly's chances tomorrow. You know that she's going to be ridden forward. She'll like to be handy. You probably say that she's a pacemaker, but I think Aidan O'Brien will say, look, just ride her the best you can, like he did with Amran Nibafian in the Derby, you know. And like I said earlier, I think you want to be handy tomorrow. You're going to want to be prominent, and that's exactly what Will Buick is going to do. Got a good draw in stall 10. Obviously, that's been a good stall in the Derby in recent years. Over the years, I think it's yielded a 20% strike rate since they've been racing in stalls. But anyway, it's got a good draw tomorrow, this filly. And to me, I wouldn't be at all surprised if she was able to step forward and learn from some of her experience. She finished 4th when last seen in the Cheshire Oaks behind Dubai Fountain, and also as well Roger Varian's filly, but that's drawn in stall 1, which has never been a good position to be in on this course. Also as well, Dubai Fountain, in my opinion, had the rub of the green that day. La Jaconde was always wide, which is always maybe a little bit of a negative in my opinion at Chester, but I think the quicker ground tomorrow will be in her favour. She's got a lovely pedigree. She's a half sister to Irish Derby winner Santiago, also as well from the family of Motor Maurice, who's been a great horse for Freddie Head when he's been able to run. I really love that horse, Motor Maurice. Fell in love with him when I saw him win on debut. But my point is from a really good family, and also as well by Frankel, whose progeny I think seems to find this quicker ground more encouraging. I just think a lot of the horses at the top of the betting, in my opinion, they're more on reputation, on what they've done. Santa Barbara, okay, she finished 4th in the English 1,000 guineas, but was a short price favourite anyway, because Aidan O'Brien said he liked her in a stable tour, but I'm not sure. Saffron Beach, a likeable filly, but will she stay? Maybe not. Where I think La Jaconde could just do that. There's a few in here that I think I've got a lot of question marks about them, but I'm willing to take a chance on the flyer. It wouldn't be the first time we've seen Aidan O'Brien win one at a big price. I just think there could be a lot to like about her. She's run some smart races during her career. She's been maybe a bit in and out, but at 50 to 1, you know you're taking a flyer on one. And I just think the race tactically tomorrow could suit for her. I know she would be ridden forward, and that's where I ideally would like my horse to be. So yeah, I think if she can just track the pace, sit 2nd, 3rd or 4th, got a great chance of maybe nicking a bit of place money at 50 to 1 tomorrow, and that's why she's going to be my long shot of the day. We then go to my nap, which runs in the next race. It's a listed race to 5:10. I'm going with Mystery Smiles here for Sylvester de Souza and Andrew Boulding in the colours of the King Power Group. Now this horse at the time recording was available at 7 to 2. I'm going to recommend a 1-point win bet here. Now this horse has got some good form to his name. He finished 3rd in the Craven meeting, which was no bad run at all. Finished 10th in the Guineas, where clearly he probably just didn't stay, and you can probably put a line through that run. But I think the drop back and trip tomorrow to 7 furlongs will really suit him to the ground. He's a horse again that likes to be prominent, and so with Sylvester de Souza, but tomorrow I think he rides Epsom as well as anyone. If I wanted a jockey round Epsom, he would definitely be up there on the short list. So he's going to, I think, put this horse into a good prominent position tomorrow, and I think might just be able to dictate this race. I know Memento obviously has got a good run next to his name when he finished 2nd in the Greenham, but he was very disappointing in the French Guineas on soft ground, and maybe that might have just left a mark on him. I know our selection obviously flopped in the Guineas, but I think he's too short in the betting, and he might not handle the conditions. A lot of his best form will come obviously when he won at Southwell, and obviously that form doesn't always translate well. But to me, Memento is just, yeah, he's too short in the betting, and I think Mystery Smiles has got a lot of speed about him. He won at Chester over 6 furlongs when he broke his maiden tag, and a lot of Chester form can translate quite well, I find, to Epsom because of that twist, that sharp nature, the turn there, and I just think that could suit him tomorrow. And with this quick ground as well, which I think will be in his favour, I think he might just have a bit too much speed for Memento, and I think at 7 to 2 there shouldn't be so much between them in the betting, and that's why Mystery Smile is going to be my nap of the day. We then have one other tip for you, which runs at Bath in the 8:10. That's going to be my next best with a horse called Khatwah for Shane Kelly and Owen Burrows in the Shadwell colours. This horse at the time recording was available at 11 to 4, and it's going to be making her 3rd career start tomorrow. Now, her last run at Bath was not too bad. She finished 4th in the novice race, just out-battled in the closing stages, but she arguably might have needed that run. And knowing Burrows' horses weren't running well at the time, he wasn't having winners at all, but in the last couple of weeks his horses have picked up a little bit. They're a yard are operating at 20% strike rate. And also as well, what's interesting is they're keeping the tongue tie. She ran in the first time tongue tie last time out, and she's going to be keeping that on tomorrow. And I think that just might make all the difference with her. Richard Spencer's horse is obviously the main danger, finished 5th in a listed race here, but that yard haven't been in good form. They haven't been firing in all cylinders, and that horse is touching odds on in places, and I think should be a bigger price. And I think our horse might just be able to improve. Her dam was a listed winner over sprint trips, so there's hope there for her to be better than what she's shown so far. And like I said, with Owen Burrows' team coming into form now, I think at 11-4, I think that's not a bad bet there at all. And I'm going to recommend a 1-point win bet there as my next best of the day. So they're the 4 tips for tomorrow's racing. Let me know in the comments box below what you're going to be backing on Oaks Day. Also as well, if you haven't done so already, remember to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe here to my YouTube channel at LuckyLoaders15. If you want to follow me on social media, Twitter is the best place to do so, where my handle is at LuckyLoader15. And if you want to find out a little bit more about myself, my website is www.chrisloaderracing.co.uk. So please gamble responsibly. Hopefully we can have some winners for you tomorrow, and we'll be seeing you soon.